The Royal Rumble is one of WWE's most exciting matches, where legends are made and WrestleMania dreams are born. But not every winner is a success story. Some were disappointing, undeserving, or just plain baffling. From lackluster booking to superstars who flopped on the road to WrestleMania, these are the top 10 worst Royal Rumble winners. Let's get ready to rumble and cringe. The 1989 Royal Rumble made history as the first official Rumble with a WrestleMania reward. But its winner? Not so memorable. Big John Studd was a dominant big man in the 80s, but by the time he won, he was already on his way out of WWE. His victory felt anticlimactic, as he eliminated only 2 people and had 0 real feuds heading into WrestleMania. Instead of capitalizing on the momentum, WWE did nothing with it. He didn't challenge for a title, didn't headline anything, major and quietly faded away. Compared to legends like Hogan, Austin, or even later Rumble winners, Studd's win was one of the most forgettable in history, a moment that should have launched a star but instead went nowhere. For a match meant to elevate its victor, this was a total misfire. The 1994 Royal Rumble gave us one of the most controversial finishes ever because there were 2 winners. Lex Luger and Bret Hart hit the floor at the same time, and instead of restarting the match, WWE declared both men the winners. And while Bret went on to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania X, Luger's road was a disaster. WWE had spent months hyping Luger as their next top guy, but the crowd never fully bought in. His title match at WrestleMania? A total flop. He lost to Yokozuna by disqualification thanks to a terrible ref bump storyline. After that, his push fizzled out completely, and by the following year, he was back to mid-card status before jumping to WCW. Luger's Rumble win wasn't just disappointing. It was proof that WWE had no faith in him as the guy. Instead of making him a star, it exposed his weaknesses and made his main event run one of the most forgettable in history. The 2012 Royal Rumble should have been a launching pad for an exciting WrestleMania main event, but instead, we got Sheamus. Don't get me wrong, the Celtic Warrior was a solid performer, but his Rumble win felt uninspired. WWE had bigger stars in the match: Randy Orton, who had hometown support, Chris Jericho, the rumored favorite, and even a returning Undertaker was teased. But Sheamus, he came out of nowhere, and what did his victory lead to? A WrestleMania match that lasted 18 seconds. Yep, he squashed Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship in a match that fans still complain about today. Instead of elevating Sheamus, the win accidentally turned Bryan into a megastar, while Sheamus's reign felt forgettable. Looking back, this Rumble win did nothing special. It wasn't exciting, it didn't make a new star, and it's one of the most uninspired victories in Rumble history. The 2016 Royal Rumble was supposed to shake things up, but instead, it gave us Triple H as WWE Champion in 2016. At 46 years old, and long past his prime as a full-time wrestler, the game booked himself to win the Rumble and capture the WWE Championship, killing any real excitement in the process. Sure, the storyline was about him screwing over Roman Reigns, but did we really need another part-time authority figure holding the top title? Fans were already rejecting Reigns, and instead of building a fresh new star, WWE hit rewind and gave us a WrestleMania main event nobody wanted. And speaking of that main event, it was a disaster. Reigns versus Triple H at WrestleMania 32 was a boring 27-minute slog in front of 100,000 fans who barely cared. Triple H's win wasn't just bad, it was a sign that WWE was stuck in the past. The 2018 Royal Rumble had fans hyped. Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the most exciting wrestlers in the world, eliminated Roman Reigns to win. It felt like WWE was finally pushing a fresh face to the top. But what happened next? Absolute disappointment. His WrestleMania match against AJ Styles should have been a dream bout, but WWE completely dropped the ball. Instead of a classic, we got a slow, underwhelming match that ended with a lame, low blow. Worse, Nakamura turned heel afterward and spent months doing endless nutshots instead of being the dominant champion fans wanted. Then he lost over and over again. His Rumble win should have made him a megastar, but instead, he faded into mid-card obscurity. Today, it's remembered as one of the biggest wasted Rumble wins ever. The 2022 Royal Rumble could have been a chance to build a new star. But instead, WWE gave us Brock Lesnar, again. After already losing the WWE Championship earlier that night, Brock entered at number 30, destroyed everyone in minutes, and won. Just like that, the entire match felt pointless. Fans wanted something fresh, maybe Big E, AJ Styles, or even Riddle. But instead, WWE played it safe, setting up yet another Brock versus Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania. And what did we get? A predictable, disappointing feud that felt like a rerun from 2015, 2018, and 2019. Lesnar's Rumble win wasn't just bad, it was lazy booking at its worst. Instead of using the match to elevate someone new, WWE wasted a golden opportunity, just to give us the same old thing. This wasn't beast mode, it was just boring. The 2011 Royal Rumble was historic, featuring 40 entrants instead of 30 for the first time ever. But instead of an all-time great winner, we got Alberto Del Rio. WWE spent months pushing Del Rio as the next big thing, but his Rumble win felt forced. He barely did anything memorable in the match, sneaking his way to victory by eliminating Santino Marella, a comedy wrestler, in one of the weakest final moments ever. And what did this lead to? Nothing special. His World Heavyweight title match at WrestleMania 27 opened the show, and he lost. That should tell you how little WWE really cared about his push. Instead of making Del Rio a top star, this Rumble win was completely forgettable. A historic match deserved a better winner. The 2014 Royal Rumble will go down as one of the most disastrous booking decisions in WWE history. Why? Because WWE ignored their fans and forced Batista into the main event scene, whether people wanted it or not. Batista returned after 4 years away, and WWE immediately pushed him as their top guy. But the problem? Fans didn't want him. They wanted Daniel Bryan. When Batista eliminated Roman Reigns to win, yes, Roman was actually the fan favorite that night, the crowd completely turned on him. Instead of a triumphant return, we got one of the loudest backlashes ever, with fans mercilessly booing Batista every step of the way. Things got so bad that WWE had to change WrestleMania's main event, adding Bryan just to save the show. Batista's win wasn't just bad, it was a legendary failure. The 1999 Royal Rumble wasn't just bad, it was one of the worst booked Rumbles of all time. Why? Because the winner wasn't a rising star, a dominant wrestler, or even a full-time competitor. It was Vince McMahon. Vince spent most of the match hiding outside the ring, while Stone Cold Steve Austin, who WWE was clearly building around, fought his way through. And how did Vince win? With help from The Rock, screwing over Austin in a storyline nobody needed. Did Vince go on to WrestleMania and challenge for the title? Of course not. He vacated his title shot the next night, making his Rumble win completely pointless. Instead of using the Rumble to elevate a real wrestler, WWE wasted it on a billionaire boss who didn't need it. It wasn't just bad, it was an embarrassment. The 2015 Royal Rumble was supposed to be Roman Reigns' crowning moment, but it turned out to be a disaster. WWE had spent the last year building Reigns up as their next top guy, but when he won the Rumble, the crowd completely rejected him. Fans were furious, especially with Daniel Bryan being eliminated early, a decision that made the boos deafening throughout the rest of the match. Reigns may have eliminated Rusev to win, but the moment felt manufactured and uninspired, with no real connection to the crowd. What followed was a painfully awkward WrestleMania main event against Brock Lesnar, where Reigns was booked to look like a hero, yet The fans just weren't buying it. Instead of elevating him, the win just solidified WWE's tone-deaf approach to his character. Reigns' 2015 Rumble win wasn't just disappointing, it was a massive miscalculation. So there you have it, the worst Royal Rumble winners in WWE history. Whether it was awkward booking, fan rejection, or just plain mismanagement, these Rumble victories left fans scratching their heads instead of celebrating. From part-time legends to bizarre choices, these wins show that not every victory in the Rumble is a triumph. What do you think? Do you agree with our list, or did we miss a big one? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more countdowns and wrestling content. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.